On Manor Farm, life was a cycle of endless labor and meager reward, a life lived under the shadow of man. But from this hardship, a powerful idea took root. A dream was born, whispered in the quiet of the barn and shared in hopeful glances. It was a dream of freedom from tyranny, a future where the fruits of their labor would finally be their own. A vision of true equality, where every animal, from the strongest horse to the smallest hen, would be respected as a comrade. They imagined a world where they were the masters of their own destiny. With a courage they never knew they possessed, they rose up as one. The old order was overthrown and a new era began. Manor Farm was no more. They proudly called it Animal Farm. But every dream, no matter how brightly it burns, casts a shadow. The initial euphoria on the farm began to curdle into a quiet, creeping uncertainty. Their guiding principle, painted in bold white letters for all to see, was a beacon of hope. All animals are equal. But this noble ideal was soon twisted. The pigs, claiming intellectual superiority, began seizing privileges, arguing it was for the good of all. The commandments themselves were secretly altered. Fear, enforced by a loyal guard of dogs, replaced camaraderie, and it became clear that some animals were now more equal than others. It was meant to be a new dawn, a world of equality built on the ashes of tyranny. But the paradise they built with their own hands, their own sweat and hope, soon began to crumble. The promise of rest became endless labor. The vow of plenty for all turned to hunger for the many and luxury for the few. One by one, their noble ideals were betrayed. The revolution that promised them freedom became a cage of its own making. The rules, once designed to ensure fairness, were now chains, binding them to a fate they had fought to escape. Fear, a poison once reserved for their old masters, now seeped into their own ranks. History was rewritten, failures blamed on traitors, and lies were repeated until they sounded like gospel. Loyalty was enforced not by camaraderie but by the bared teeth of a brutal police force. The enemy wasn't just outside the gates, it was within, and the cost of that betrayal was everything. As they looked upon the faces of their new masters, they saw a chilling reflection of their old ones. The future they fought for was a lie.